Hello and welcome to Comic Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Erich McElroy. Hello.
Hello, and welcome to this half-hour-ish streaming comedy show streamed directly into your homes, if that's where you are, or wherever you are, via the internet, where two comedians sit down, solve all the problems that we can manage to solve in around half an hour, approximately zero, and then we ask you for money at the end. That's basically how this works.
We'll ask you for money in the middle as well.
Yeah.
And home is wherever your internet access is. That's what I always say.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm looking at private things.
Interesting. Well, I mean, if anything, you shouldn't look at those at home. Then again, you don't want to get caught at work looking at those either. But use the tool browser. So what we're talking about?
So we've got lots of stories. I think it's good to be doing this. We are, of course, live again as we record this. So not as we broadcast it. But you can still join us in the chat if you're watching on YouTube, because that's the only place to watch it now. I think we're nowhere else, are we? We've gone exclusively YouTube.
YouTube only, baby. And we're very close to being live in as much as we didn't pre-record this that much earlier than it went out. So
that is true.
We are up to date, unless something massively happens in the next hour.
Yeah, and luckily there's been no big news stories in the last couple of weeks.
I mean, yeah, I know what you mean with that, but she's still not going to be alive. So I think we're safe to cover a big tranche of the news.
That is one of the most, I mean, you know, may she rest in peace, the Queen, but one of the terrors of working in, you know, sort of topical comedy, especially in the UK, is that you'll do a bit of an off-color joke about the Queen, ha 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 ha, and then that show's about to go out and she's gone and kicked the bucket. And thank God, don't have to worry about it.
Well, but it happened on MASH. When we were sat there, the last episode we recorded, there was two things. One of them I was involved in, but that was more of a Meghan thing, and it all had to get scrubbed. So, and that was the rule on Ministry of Defence. It doesn't matter how funny the jokes were about the Queen, we refused to put them in just in case.
But now Prince Charles, he's 73. Oh,
what could go wrong? Yeah. No, right now we have to worry about zombieism, don't we? That we would be writing a joke about someone who's passed away and we'd actually end up with them coming back to life and, you know, trying to eat brains. Oh, one likes brains. Stuff like that, yeah.
Thank you for not making reference about my jumper, my sweater.
Oh, I forgot
I'm
about
wearing today. I'm going for the I'm going for the middle-aged dad vibe look. It's the autumn, it's the fall. It's hey, I'm the cool, relaxed TV dad. That's what I'm going. So if you're watching me on TV, I'm cool TV dad. Right,
because it kind of looks like you're about to get shot by an alien in Star Trek.
It is as of that vibe, but it's the only sweater that fits me right now because I'm in a fat phase.
Oh, so that's what kills you, not the alien on the planet.
It's right. The alien cholesterol. So engage with the chat. If you do ever at some point enjoy what we're doing, be sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and give us money. I mean,
that's
contribute to keep the project going.
If you do at any point like what we're doing, aim low.
I've been in Britain for so long. I can't be like, hey, if you love us, because you're not, I mean, you know.
No British person's ever smashed a like button.
Unless they were drunk and they did it because the like button was looking at them funny.
Honestly, this suit jacket is trying to leave this show. That's how bad this show is. It's making its way off. Going, none doing me. I do not agree with that zombie joke. Ooh,
I'm out. But yes, we have limited time and lots of stories to solve. So let's start with the excitement it's been for a different Liz over the last couple of weeks, and that's the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Liz Truss. I don't know if you're excited about the new reign of our Prime Minister, but I mean, talk about deep into the swimming pool. Fucking hell. Tuesday, she meets the Queen. Whatever poison she slipped the Queen took effect by Thursday. And because, you know, I think it's like Highlander, because they met in Scotland. There's two Liz's. There can be only one. So she's Prime Minister. At the funeral, she got to, she basically, I don't know if you've seen it now, there's a couple good clips of Boris. One where he's coming into the church trying to cut in front of Theresa May, and they stop him and we're like, that's not the order of sequence. And then Liz got a speaking part. Truss got a speaking part at the burial for the Queen, and Boris has got to be sitting there going, oh, one more week. One more bloody week. Shouldn't have had all those parties, mate. Actually, it wasn't the parties they did. It was the pedo PM. Anyway, but
the pincher.
The pinching PM. The pinching PM.
Yeah.
Pincher by name. And so Liz got to do a speaking part. But if you haven't seen it, look online. There's the moment, how different news organizations were covering the dignitaries coming into the church for the service, and different news agencies around the world are covering different. Knowing all those famous people, that's got to be tricky, right? But there's one with an Australian news
yes.
broadcaster. And he's like, "All right, here, getting out of the car there." I'm not going to do the accent. Getting out of the car there. I don't. This might be one of the. We've just had the royals. This might be one of the minor royals. I think it is. We don't know everyone who's coming in. We can't quite get a clear look at her. And then she's come through there, so we don't quite know. Anyway, no, I'm being told no, that is the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. I mean, good Lord, Liz. So she didn't get recognized by the Australians. That's a bit of a snub. Biden was supposed to meet with her and didn't. He decided he'd rather meet with the old Liz than the new Liz. And then at the end of it all, she's flown to New York for the UN stuff. And she has said, because we all know that Brexit was all about getting Britain's freedom to make trade deals around the UK. And at the time, President Biden said, or President Obama at the time said that the UK would be at the back of the queue, which he was criticized for, because in America we'd say at the end of the line. But
we love queuing.
Funny enough, we got there, she got there, and this is the moment, time to sit down with the new American president, and nope, no trade deal. And she just basically went, "No, we're not gonna get one. We're not even gonna try."
Yeah. I did see the bit where it said that there'll be no talks in the short to medium term with Biden. There's no talks with Biden in the long term because, He's old, is what I'm saying. He's old, unless zombies come back, and we'll cover that on a different show.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So it's been. We need good leadership in this country, and I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Oh well. Yeah, but there is that we don't mind being the back of a queue for anything, because we are British, and if there's one thing we excelled at recently, it's queuing. Some of the queue, apparently the queue, and this is not like hyperbole, this is true, the queue to see our late monarch lying in state was the longest queue for anything ever. Because why would anyone queue for that long for anything? So it's a safe bet to say. I mean, it's bizarre, isn't it, that people queued for 10 hours and at the end of it didn't get a new iPhone. They must be absolutely gutted. But yeah, we love a queue, and we did it really well. Turns out we're pretty good at it. Which actually is better than, I remember I once went to Italy on a holiday years ago, and I was shocked by the lack of queuing to try and go and buy a coffee, and everyone was just up at the bar, first come, first serve type thing, which struck me as wrong in a coffee scenario. But imagine what happens if it was Italy in charge of a monarch lying in state with no queue, just rushing straight up to the coffin. Oh, no. Inappropriate.
It would have been. Even though the bread would have been better while you were queuing, coffee would have been better while you were.
And the after bunga bunga party.
Pushing.
Yeah. But you're right. Yeah. It's tasty.
That's true.
Yeah.
So just a little update on Lizzie, the new Lizzie, new gal in town. We'll see how she gets on.
Well, I can flip my side of the story if you'd like.
Yes.
So let's start with this news that is about the end of an era. Many will miss her. We are facing a loss. That's right. It's Nadine Dorries has left Twitter. This is going to be upsetting to many people. She's deleted her account, and some people are saying that a while ago she promised to make the internet a safer place with fewer trolls. She's managed it a little bit, but the real idea is that she's moving to the House of Lords and doesn't want people going through and seeing what kind of inappropriate things she might have tweeted before. Because the thing is, she has tweeted inappropriate things, but she's moving on. She's moving up in the world, in the House of Lords. She doesn't want people on some low-budget internet show finding screenshots of the kind of things she tweeted. Like this one, where she said Dominic Cummings isn't as clever as he doesn't think he is. Correct?
You're demonstrating a lack of cleverness to show the kind of clever he isn't.
Or is he not?
Not.
Yeah. Fair play. She beats me at that one. She also tweeted this. Heard a noise outside, clock slow. I opened my front door to the sound of my amazing neighbours whistling, cheering and shouting, "Come on, Boris." I'll admit it. I cried for the boss and everyone everywhere in hospital battling COVID-19. Get better soon. I don't remember the evening. I'm presuming people were clapping for nurses and she entirely thought it was about Boris. And the idea that normally if one of your neighbours is shouting, "Come on, Boris," that's because he's round at their swingers party. So to go there and imagine it was all about COVID, interesting thought pattern. This one was one of her favourite famous tweets. Apparently I'm racist because I think Chuck Amunna looks like Chris Eubank. What would I be if I said he looked like someone who was white? I mean, wronger? It's a bizarre way of arguing, isn't it? But I could do something far worse. So you're telling me this is bad? It's not really how logic works, is it? Then there's this one. Left-wing snowflakes are killing comedy, tearing down historic statues, removing books from universities, dumbing down Panto, removing Christ from Christmas, and suppressing free speech. Sadly, it must be true. History does repeat itself. It will be music next. The well-known free speech advocate who has deleted all of her Twitter so that we never get to see what she said. Beautiful. But it also means that if we can't check her Twitter, we can't check to see if a screenshot was entirely made up and not a genuine one by her. Not that I'm saying I'd go around making fake Nadine Dorries tweets that people could screen grab, but like this one. Just bought some potpourri from M&S and it tastes like it's gone off. Is that a real one or is it not a real one? I don't think it's a real one, but we can't check now, can we?
Yeah.
Like she could have said, I didn't have a problem with Sunak because he's Asian, simply because he wasn't white. Is that racist now? That's probably not an actual tweet by her, but now it is sadly impossible to actually check. Or this one. Just search for BBC on X-Hamster. The licence fee should not be funding that guy. Is that real or is it fake? I'm guessing probably fake, but there is absolutely no way to check. Because she's deleted her Twitter, which is a shame because it was a great source of material. And I went there to have a look. This is what it looks like if you go on a Twitter account now. It's that. Oh. It's kind of eerie, doesn't it? It's got that feel of like, bring it up again. If you go there, someone's going to say, "What's that? You're looking for some old MP who tweets crazy nonsense? Well, there ain't been an MP like that around here, not since the accident." Like it's just some ghost of the Nadine Dorries who used to tweet. But I started this off by talking about the loss. Let's deal with the actual thing. The funeral of Queen Elizabeth II took place. Various news stories have been talking about this. Joe Biden sits at the back of the funeral after declining to arrive by bus, which seems surprising because he would have got a free bus pass. It wouldn't cost him at his age. He definitely would have been all right with that. And then there's this. Twitter explodes over ghosts being spotted during the Queen's funeral. Ghosts at the funeral? Are you ready to see the ghosts? Yeah, they're not ghosts, are they? It's clearly just someone's wig. This is how bad the internet is, that they thought they were ghosts. The bigger question isn't, are they ghosts? The bigger question is, why did these two guys get invited to the Queen's funeral? Anyway, then this is the big story, which is all about Meghan. The newspapers have been obsessed with Meghan. It's been ridiculous, so much so that there was a camera angle. I'll show you the camera angle. And there's a candle in the way of Meghan. You couldn't quite see it. People were tweeting that this is some sort of conspiracy to make sure that the historic footage of this event, there's another one from the BBC, that she's effectively been airbrushed from it, removed by a candle. And then other people have been enjoying it too much. But the one thing I realised is that whether you think it's real or not, whether you think it's planned or not, it's great inspiration for Sir Elton John.
And it seems to me they put Harry's wife behind a candle in the wind. They didn't want to see you when Charles's reign set in. And I would have liked to see you, but it's okay. Your pictures will be in the Daily Mail every flipping day.
Emotional stuff. Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. And to those people who think...
It was Elton John, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Elton John says thank you. People thinking that it's actually planned, that they would put a candle in the... I just think they're not understanding how badly things are planned. It's not some great conspiracy to airbrush her out of history, because this also happened. This poor choir boy mocked on Twitter because he's trying to sing, and all of a sudden, there you go. I mean, look, these things can happen. It's shit balls.
Oh, Steve again.
Every flipping time. I got lamps in my shed.
Props.
I got
That's
props.
what we need your donations for.
Yeah. And look, I don't think that choir boy, here we are, the picture again. I don't think that choir boy was being airbrushed from history by putting a lamp there. If anything, he thought, you know what, Prince Andrew's about, probably best to hide. So there you go. You're up to date with that. Before we move on from the end of my story, I got a little addendums. Oh. So I put these things on Twitter and TikTok, the song. And I thought, well, this will be fun, won't it? People are just having a little laugh, and let's have a look at some of the comments he got on TikTok. Right? So clever and nice voice. Why, thank you, Deborah, whatever that is, thank you. And then I spotted that yesterday. Brilliant, whoever put the candle there. Well, maybe it wasn't deliberate, but yeah, thanks. Oh, God, new Oprah show and podcast. There's no need to be that mean and bringing up that into it. And what's this one? Show her how insignificant she is as often as possible. That you mean little... And what's this one? Good Lord. You didn't get to see her for 5 minutes. How will you ever cope? I wasn't upset about it. I was just trying to do a joke. Stop with the hate. I'm trying to do a song. It's not hate. What we've got here? If it was planned, then good, but a pillow would have been better. And how much can you get on about Meghan? Leave woman alone. Well, you do grammar, but online bullying, here we go again. Can we all calm down? Can we all calm down about this? Because, just in case I have to explain the joke, that candle... is clearly in the wind. That's the end of the thought process. The flame at an angle.
Don't give away how hard it is to write jokes.
That was all it was.
It takes days.
What I found fascinating is there's two groups of people. Those who hate Meghan are those who really like Meghan. And the people who hate Meghan looked at my video, and I thought the video, if anything, is a slight diss towards the royal family, but mainly go about how the newspapers are obsessing, especially the Daily Mail. Yeah. The people who hate Meghan thought it was a Meghan hate piece, and they were all like, yeah, good, get rid of her. I'm like, whoa, that's not the song. And then everyone who likes Meghan was saying, oh, why are you being mean about Meghan? What? And it's interesting, isn't it, that that is something of the group, not the person, but the group of Meghan supporters have that victim mentality of like, you've mentioned Meghan, well, why? Why are you being so harsh? Because the flame was the flame. Yeah.
I think the bigger question, Steve, is why do you hate candles?
Why do I hate candles?
Why?
What have they ever done to me?
You don't like light? You want the darkness? Oh, you don't. Oh, are you afraid of the dark? Don't like dark? Clearly, it's one or the other.
I'm wickophobic. That's my problem. I don't like wicks.
Oh, don't like witches.
Not the shop. Yeah. And then the other addendum is that I also put that video on Twitter. It did all right. It got like 10,000 views. Not bad.
Ooh.
Someone else nicked it. Didn't just copy the link to my video, downloaded the video and loaded it on their channel, and have got 6 times more views. And it was 12 hours later when the guilt must have... I've looked on their profile and it's by far the biggest hit they've ever had. Right? Yep. And then 12 hours after they tweeted it, went, oh, credit at Mr. Stephen. Oh, do I get some credit, do I, for doing all of... All right, thank you for giving us credit.
Gotta watermark everything.
Yeah, but the thing that gets me about it is they got 6 times more views, but they've only got like 900 followers. It's not a better account. I'm now starting to believe I am shadow banned. Honestly, you host one show on GB News and you're removed from Twitter. How are they getting more hits than I am for my own video?
Starting to go down that slippery slope.
Shadow ban, baby. Shadow ban. Yeah. We should make a TV spin-off show called Shadow Ban. I'm not sure what it'd be, but it's a good title. So yeah, we're up to date. That's my hot take on the funeral.
Well, I mean, I guess my final thoughts and comments are similar about Meghan, and I think it kind of fits in with the shadow ban that we've just mentioned, because we both have been, the media obsession with Meghan is intense, and she's back in the country, which just gets the whole thing just ramped back up again, and every little look, and was she smiling? Was she crying? Was she close to Harry? Was she holding hands with Harry? Did she fart near Harry? Was that why he made that face? All those things.
Was that why the candle was like that?
That's why the candle. That's why they lit the candle in the first place, because they knew that she'd let one rip.
You think that's a joke, but people are like, good, yeah, light candles near her. Oh, why have you got to hate on it? It's a fart joke.
Yeah. A lot of those people want to light a candle near her because they want to burn her for being a witch.
You see, people don't say, can you say that as a joke? But again, you'll get a fan base.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, Steve. I want a fan base. And I'm sick of being, ethical and honest about my view of her. And so I think, the fact is that we need to recognize that Meghan is the biggest thing to damage the royal family. I'm all in now. I watched it because, we have friends that obsess about her. We've been on a network. It clearly works. It generates hits. I'm at a point in my life now where I need a pension, so I'm just gonna start dissing her. I mean, she's doing fine. She's rich, so she's the fact that she might have gotten suicidal thoughts because of all this obsession with her, the fact that she's had to leave the country essentially, because of the huge amounts of hate which she saw demonstrated because nobody was picking apart anybody else for doing stuff. And at one point, my son even noticed that Prince George picked his nose and wiped it on his suit during the ceremony.
Right.
Is that what the Queen would have wanted?
And if Meghan would have done that, you bet someone would have mentioned it.
Someone would have mentioned that, unless she ate it, which is the way to deal with a bogey when you're wearing a nice suit. But I just want to do it, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go all in, like Meghan. Oh, could you see Meghan? She was there at the funeral. She breathed the air around Prince Charles. She showed her elbows at different stages. She had the audacity to put one foot in front of the other and walk in a forward direction, just like everyone else. It was ridiculous. It is wrong. And it is something that I found deeply disrespectful to a monarchy that generated a lot of its wealth from the slave trade. How dare she be a black woman in front of them?
Yeah, and so that clip, just take that out of context.
Just take that out of context, and or some people in context will be upset by it anyway. The one thing that actually she was criticized for having her sleeves, her arms showing at one point.
Really?
Yeah. That's a real thing. I'm actually happy with her breathing. I'm happy with her farting next to Charles. I mean, you just would think that they would be a little bit more concerned with the guy that settled a sexual harassment lawsuit for $12 million paid for by the British taxpayer. But no. She talked to Oprah.
Were his elbows on show?
God, I hope not.
Yeah. So that's why, isn't it? There you go.
But I mean, we need the viewers and the donations. I mean, it's just, you talk about being shadow banned. If we got shadow banned, we'd have more viewers.
Yeah. Somehow. All you need to do is get someone with 980 followers to retweet this, and all of a sudden it'll be a big hit.
I mean, do we know their name?
That's what he had at the start of the day. But I saw one tweet because of course I went through and read all of the way more replies he got for my video than I did, and someone said, "That's really funny. That deserves a follow." Does it?
It takes a lot of effort to copy someone else's video and post it on your timeline.
Yep.
And did you just subtweet him over and over and over again?
Did a couple in there, yeah. But in a really kind of like, oh, thanks for spreading the word, because there's no point getting angry about it. You could just mute my reply, just hide it. Yeah. So, oh, thanks for...
You do have about 45 different Twitter accounts, so you could subtweet him using some of those. Like, I think true. I saw this on Mr. Stephen Allen.
Yeah. But yeah, I might get around to doing that later. Because I'm never going to write anything funnier. No, I've got nothing else to do now. So, oh dear. But I mean, I can't really moan because I'm grateful that the video was watched by 70,000 people. Yeah. I just would have preferred it if 60 of those went on some other dude's Twitter account. Although there was one bit where someone kicked off saying, like, you're an absolute child, grow up. Why are you posting this hate over some poor black woman? I'm like, this guy, I don't know why he's tweeting this stuff. I'd have a word with him. I'd ban him. Yeah. So maybe it is a useful pattern.
And just for full clarity, some of those tweets by Nadine were made up earlier, just for.
But were they? We can't check anymore.
Don't That's say the that. Problem.
Who can check? Who can check?
They have ways. She'd have to. Well, I've heard that she sometimes just cancels her account randomly anyway. So
I did try and apply if I could try and get the username, but it's not letting me.
Oh yeah, I'm sure so many people are after that username.
But if I get to be the first one on there, I can retweet my video and finally get more flipping it. Not that that's the only thing that's bothering my day.
Well, you finally have a verified account.
It's I don't know. But I got two. It took me 2 hours to record that, write and record and do all that. Old matey chops. Download. Click send.
But now that it's been on Comic Solving,
yeah,
problem solved.
Yeah. You can probably put in a copyright claim and get it taken down.
We'll be demonetized
for using my own video. I'll say that it was written, the music by Elton John. So to be fair, yeah, I didn't write the whole thing. And I did mean to say this earlier on, actually, if anyone's offended, because, I can see how that's a difficult song to pick, given that we are singing about a princess. Just for clarity, I was doing a parody of the Marilyn Monroe version. I think that's very obvious.
Yeah, that's immediately where my mind went.
Yeah, of course, yeah. An actress. Makes more sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I think we're almost out of time. Anything else to catch us up on?
No, I think that's good. You're back on the MASH this week. Is that right? After you guys you were in purgatory last week. So
Yeah, filming another one tomorrow. The podcast of the Time FM show is probably taking a week's break because I've realized how much fun it is to not have to make a podcast of each episode. So just give myself some time off.
Good. Well, my podcast is back, American Exchange. If you're into a little bit of American politics, we had Joe Walsh on the latest episode, and this week we recorded it, and it'll be out shortly. Mary Trump is back on the podcast. And I asked her the burning question about whether or not Donald Trump is really messy with the way he lays out his classified files. I don't know the answer. She knows him. It's her uncle.
Yeah. I of all of my extended family, I know exactly how they would lay out their top secret files.
Exactly. Yeah. So she reveals the truth on American Exchange this week. And if you're based on the Cardiff way, I'll be at the Glee this weekend. So I'll be down in Cardiff Friday and Saturday night.
Oh, God.
Come and check me out there.
We meant to check where we're gigging to plug those things as well.
Why not?
Yeah, good point.
So that the people who are angry with us for making fun of either way the Meghan Markle situation can find us and tell us.
Good point. Maybe I won't mention I'm gigging then. Let's have a look. I've just got London and somewhere down south.
I love the way you keep your diary.
Just put the word London in.
The
and
name
hope
of
that
the club, London.
Never put the name of the club in. I just put London, and then 2 days before, someone's going to send me an email saying, you're right to turn up at 7:30. And if they don't, then we're all in trouble, aren't we?
So there we go. Well, enjoy your gig in London.
Well, thank you.
Right. Well, do subscribe, do like, do smash, and,
contribute some money to either our Ko-fi account or that other guy on the internet's got a really funny video. He's making some mint out of this.
Really good. I'm going to go find him and follow him right now.
He does some good stuff.
There we go. Well, we will see you next Tuesday, if not the Tuesday after that.
Whichever comes first. Yeah. Brilliant. Till next time. Bye. Thank you for watching this from Comic Solving Problems.
And if you feel like it, go ahead and like the video.
Or subscribe. Commitment.